Oh, what's up, guys? So I really went ballistic on Jonathan Jody's videos yesterday. I just say I was calling out the people who jump so quickly to his defense every single time he gets called out for anything because, well, at the end of the day, when someone is exploiting it, I think me calling that person out is fully warranted, fully justified, fully called for. I think, me calling Jonathan an exploitative, abusive scumbag is fully warranted, justified, and called. I don't care if people think that me calling him that, is completely unwarranted, completely unjustified, and completely uncalled for. And I don't see that. It's people defending him that he's uncalled for. At the end of the day, nobody should be defending a man who is basically exploiting his kids for money and has been doing that for years. Which is the truth of the matter. But what people need to realise is that by them continuing to defend Jonathan and support what he's doing, they're basically enabling him to continue exploiting his kids and continuing using his content in order to make money from that. Because that's basically what he's doing. He's exploiting his hits and he's using his hits as content so that he can make money. And I don't understand how people think that's acceptable or think it's okay for a parent to do that. There's no justification for a parent using, exploiting it hits or choosing to use it hits as content so that they can make money. And obviously, sadly, it's something that so many parents are doing. And, people will always, it's crazy to think that even now people are still trying to deny the fact that he's exploiting his kids when there is no denying that, because at the end of the day, it's crazy that people are trying to deny something that is so blatantly obvious. Because this is the thing. It's so blatantly obvious that he's exploiting his and it's so undeniable. But people are still trying to deny that, and it's actually crazy. Like, when I see the way that people are trying to defend Jonathan and stick half him and support what he does, it's hard not to call people out for that. It's hard not to give people a mouthful, call them enablers and things like that as I did. Which I thought was, as I said, I think, is fully warranted, fully justified and fully awful. As far as I'm concerned, Jonathan is an exploitative, abusive scumbag. And so is Anna. They are two of the worst parents I have ever seen on the internet. I mean, do people really think that Jonathan surprising his kids with all these things and buying his kids all these things that he buys and makes him a great dad? No, he doesn't. He's a piece of dog shit. That's what he is. He's an exploitative piece of dog shit. And I will say that, and yeah, I think that is fully justified. I think me saying that is fully warranted, and it's fully awful. Because that's exactly what he is. I mean, at the end of the day, those four kids, Edie or Eduardo or whatever her bloody name is, Alessia, Andrea, Amelia, they've never known a life that doesn't revolve around cameras and being filmed. They've never really had any privacy in their lives. They've basically been filmed and used as content and basically used as content for pretty much most of their lives. And it's sad to think about, really. It is sad to think about the amount of money that Jonathan and Anna have made from putting it hits all over the internet, because there's no denying that they've basically made a shite ton of money from doing it. There's no denying the fact that Jonathan and Anna would have nothing if it were, without those hits. Those hits are the only reason that Jonathan and Anna have actually been as successful as they are. it's like the kids are the only reason that they have what they have. And it's funny because that's sort of basically the same argument that I've made with the Unims on many occasions. I've said that the only reason that Christians have what they have is because of the kids, and that's basically true. This is the thing, like, it's not like I don't feel like I'm saying anything that basically isn't true. Like, I feel like everything I say in my videos when I do talk about things like this is true. If it is with me, I say the things that need to be said. I'm not someone that holds back. When people deserve to be called out for something, I will gladly call them out. I don't care if people, if people don't agree with what I do or don't agree with what I say. I don't really, if people think that people say, oh, I'm being, it was funny when I posted that comment the other day yesterday about people being enablers. Someone was like, oh, well, that's a bit rude. And I was like, well, yeah, it might be a bit rude, but it's true. If you basically, people who support Jonathan and stick up for him every day and defend him every day are basically enablers, because they're basically enabling him to continue exploiting his kids and basically making money off his kids, and it's just fucking wrong on so many levels. Like, the fact that it's sad, those 4 kids are basically being treated like hash cows and performing monkeys. It's like, how do people defend parents who choose to treat their kids like that? Choose to treat their kids like performing monkeys and hash cows, which is basically the way that Jonathan and Anna have both been treating their kids for the past however many years. They have been treating, they've only ever treated their kids like hash cows and performing monkeys. That's basically what those 4 kids are. Jonathan and Anna are the definition of two vile, pathetic, shameful human beings, and 2 evil, rotten lowlives. That's what really comes to mind when I think of them. Is a pair of evil, rotten lowlives. Best way of describing them, to be honest. How else are you supposed to describe 2 people who have done out there exploit their kids and basically have monetized a large amount of their kids' lives? This is the thing. It's sad to think about how much of those kids' how much they've monetized, how much of his lives, they've monetized, because they have monetized a lot of his lives. They've shared a lot of things online they shouldn't have been sharing, and this is what I was thinking about the other day with this Honey Jolie. I was thinking, the truth is, people know a lot of things about the Honey Jolie hits that they probably shouldn't know. And that's all down to what Anna and Jonathan have chosen to share online. The amount of backlash they used to get for showing that his school logos in the video, the school logo in the videos and everything. The amount of times they were told not to show that in the videos and they continued to show it. That showed how little they cared about their kids. Because if they cared about their kids, they would have stopped showing the school logo in the videos. But the fact that they continued to show that so blatant, they continued to show that in the videos, showed that they didn't really care about their kids all that much. The problem with there's one thing that really does ring true about people like Jonathan and Anna. And the one thing that really certainly does ring true about them is they've only ever cared about money and views and content. They've never cared about their kids. I certainly don't think they paid for this holiday. I certainly think this holiday to Barbados was gifted. I honestly believe that. I feel like, sometimes when I watch the kids, when I see the videos they put out there, it's like, it does feel like, the kids sometimes are forced to do the videos, and I've gotten that vibe for a long time. Like, I wouldn't mind betting there's a lot more going on behind the scenes. Like, you know, yeah, all I can say is they are two people who have, who have exploited, who exploit, manipulate, who have exploited, manipulated, and abused their hits and elected their hits. And they've shown that abuse and exploitation and neglect of their hits on, many, many times. And, it's just sad that people like Jonathan are allowed to make money off of their hits. It's sad that these social media platforms like YouTube, for example, are allowing this to happen. As we all know, they shouldn't be. But the problem with YouTube is that, is they don't really give a shit. YouTube all YouTube really care about is money. We all know that a lot of these family vlogging channels should 100% be banned. But, YouTube won't ban them because they don't give a damn. It's just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And the fact that people are trying to defend, people are actually trying to defend Jonathan and Anna, it actually makes the gravity of this whole thing so much worse. Like, I don't feel bad for, calling Jonathan an exploitative, abusive scumbag. I don't feel like that was unwarranted or unjustified or uncalled for. I know a lot of people, say, oh, well, that was unjustified, or that was uncalled for, or that was unwarranted, but I don't feel like it was. I don't feel like me calling Jonathan an exploitative, abusive scumbag is completely unwarranted. I think that it's about time someone said what really needed to be said. And called Jonathan out for who what he really is, an exploitative, abusive scumbag. There was nothing that will ever convince me otherwise. There was nothing that will ever really convince me that Jonathan and Anna do genuinely care about their kids. I feel like they've tried to convince people so many times that they do genuinely care about their kids, but they're not convincing anyone. Of course, these idiots who support them, support everything they do, will be fully convinced that they do actually care about their kids. But I don't see that. I don't see two parents who care about their kids. I see two idiots who only care about making money. And at the end of the day, that just had to be said. It's very, very clear to see that they only really care about making money. And that they don't really sort of genuinely care about anything else. And, I don't really feel bad for saying that, because I think in a way it kind of had to be said. It was a point that had to be made. I mean, it's just unbelievable. The fact that people will try to defend someone like him. Because it's like, how the fuck can anyone in their right mind actually think it's genuinely acceptable to defend him? It's fucking not. Like, people shouldn't be defending someone like him. Why the fuck would you want to support a guy who's basically support two fucking clowns who are basically exploiting their kids for money and basically using their kids as content to make money, which is exactly what they are doing. The same can very well be said about the they're two idiots who are basically using their kids as content to make money. And I am not gonna apologise for saying, why should I apologise for saying something that's basically true? If you guys think I'm gonna apologise for, for saying that they're a pair of scumbags who are exploiting their kids, you've gone a long way, because I don't intend on apologising for that. I don't, at the end of the day, I don't see why, as I said, I don't see why I should apologise for saying something that's basically true. I'm not going to apologise for calling people out when they're choosing to defend Jonathan Jolie, someone like Jonathan Jolie, who is basically treating his like house of performing monkeys, which is basically the way that he is treating his kids. Well, they're both treating their kids, because they both for years they've both been treating their kids like performing monkeys and house. I don't think there was a single thing that will ever really convince me that Eduardo wasn't forced into being a girl. I honestly, the more I look at it, the more I see it, the more I get that vibe that the more I start to believe it, the more I believe he was forced into it. Because it's like, at the end of the day, I wouldn't put anything past Jonathan and that. Forcing it here to be, when I look at Jonathan and Anna, forcing it here to be trans certainly feels like something they would do. You think about the amount of money they've made from sharing Edie's trans journey online and broadcasting out all over social media. Again, it's very sad to think about that, the fact they have made so much money from sharing something that probably shouldn't have been shared online or broadcasted broadcasted all over the internet in the way that it was. Again, it was like, there's been so, it just feels like the kids don't really have any privacy in their lives. Like they've never really known what privacy is. Like the problem with the kids is they're too young to really understand that their parents are basically just exploiting them and using them as content so they can make money. It's just ridiculous, absolutely fucking ridiculous, that people come on every single day in, day out, and try to defend Jonathan at home. He's doing nothing wrong. Like, how the fuck can people have the audacity to try and defend someone who is exploiting it kids for money? There is no defending someone who is choosing to do that. People should not in any way be trying to fucking defend someone who is using their children, who is basically making money from using his kids as content, and is exploiting his kids. The thumbnails he uses alone for a lot of the videos he puts out there are just absolutely disgusting. Like, why does every video he uploads have to have an open mouth thumbnail? I don't understand that. That and that alone. It's just ridiculous. The fact that every video has to have an open mouth thumbnail. And I don't understand why. Why does Jonathan feel the need to keep using thumbnails like that? It kind of shows what sort of person he is. Because let's face it, only a creep and a moron would think it was acceptable to use thumbnails like that, or would think it was appropriate to be using thumbnails like that every time he uploads a video. It's actually creepy when you look at Jonathan's channel, and you look at the amount of videos there are on his channel that have these open mouth thumbnails. If that doesn't say father exposing his torpedoes on the internet, I don't know what does. Because that's exactly what he's doing. He's exposing his torpedoes on the internet, because we all know that that at the end of it, we all know he shouldn't be using thumbnails like that. But come on, I've posted a lot of videos talking about the fact that his thumbnails Jonathan uses for his videos are actually disgusting. Which, to be fair, to be quite frankly honest, some of them actually are. And there's no defend. At the end of the day, there's no defending a guy who is constantly using open mouth thumbnails, knowing what when he knows full well what sort of audiences thumbnails like that would attract. He's not a dumbass. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's, as I said, and I've said this before, he's not fucking stupid. He knows exactly what he's doing. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say, to be fairly honest. But he knows exactly what he's doing. People really need to wake the hell up. The sooner they wake up, the better, to be honest. There's nothing good to say about the fact that people are choosing to defend someone like Jonathan. Do they really think that people won't call them out for that? Of course, if people are defending Jonathan, they're gonna get called out for that. I'm quite happy to call Jonathan an exploitative, abusive scumbag, because that's exactly what he is. And as I said, I don't really fucking care if people think that what I say in my videos is unwarranted or unjustified or uncalled for. And I don't see it. I don't see that. I think a lot of what I say in my videos is warranted, justified, and called for. As I said, I say the things that really need saying. And these are the things that really needed saying. Jonathan and Anna Honey Jolie are a pair of fucking wazzers. Who, at the end of the day, as I said, people need to basically wake the fuck up and realise that by continuing to defend Jonathan, basically enabling him to continue exploiting his hits. It's like, why would he stop exploiting his hits when people are defending him every day? Every single fucking day in and day out. I honestly believe people think that they're doing a good thing by jumping so quickly to Jonathan's defence. But they're not doing it. At the end of the day, people are not doing a good thing by defending him. Because by defending him, they're basically enabling him to continue exploiting his hits and using his as content so that he can make money from that. And that's not a good thing. There's nothing good about enabling someone to continue doing that. This is the thing. I know they think they're doing a good thing, but there's nothing good about enabling somebody to be able to continue exploiting his and using his as content so that they can make money. Which is basically what people are doing. They're basically enabling Jonathan to continue exploiting his hits and using his as content. That has to be said. And if people are enabling him to do that, of course, I will quite gladly call them out for that and question what the hell they're doing. Right, frankly, some of these people do need a flipping lecture. When it's like there is nothing good about any of this. There's nothing that is okay or acceptable about any of this. None of this is fair. That he's had to put with being exploited every day. And you've got people trying to defend their parents. How do people honestly defend parents like Anna and Jonathan that are treating his hash cows and performing monkeys? People shouldn't be people like them shouldn't be being defended by people when they're treating their kids like that. It is fucking shameful and pathetic. That is what it is. It's embarrassing. People are, the sad truth is people are so up his fucking arse, it's unbelievable. That is the problem with some people. Is they're so up Jonathan's fucking arse. They're so up Jonathan's fucking arse, it's unbelievable. There won't be anything. At the end of the day, there are some people who wouldn't be any further up Jonathan's fucking arse if they tried. It's like they're so determined to hiss his backside no matter what he does. People hiss his backside time and time again. Trying to make him out to be some great father when actually he isn't. He is not a great father. his own father wouldn't be exploiting his kids for money, which is exactly what he's doing. He's an exploitative, manipulative, abusive scumbag. You know, that is what he is. That is what Jonathan Jolie is: a child groomer, a child exploiter, and a child abuser. And I'm not gonna apologise for saying that, because it's true. That's basically exactly what he is, and it's exactly what Anna is. They are child exploiters, child abusers, and child groomers. This is the thing. People are trying to defend two people that are basically abusing, exploiting, neglecting it, grooming their kids. All right. Oh yeah. Wow. Bravo. Seriously, fucking bravo. Trying to defend two people that are exploiting, abusing, grooming, and manipulating their kids 24/7. Yeah. That's such a good look. That, isn't it? You know. It is absolutely pathetic. That is what it is. It is incredibly shameful and embarrassing. You know, these people, I'm glad I had a go at these people for defending Jonathan yesterday. Because people needed a flipping mouth. You know, I don't care if people thought I was being harsh or people thought I was being rude. Yeah, maybe I was being a bit rude, but everything I was basically saying was basically the truth. You know, everything I've said about Jonathan and Anna in this video is basically the truth. You know, it's like, you'd have to be, people must be blind, dumb, and incredibly stupid if they can't actually see that. Yeah, I mean, you'd have to be fucking blind, stupid, and blind, dumb, and stupid to not be able to see them for what they really are. You know, you'd have to be fucking desperate to want to defend someone like Jonathan Jolie or stick up for someone like him, sticking up for a guy who's exploiting his kids. But these people that are doing that really need to take a long hard look in the mirrors. Because they're the biggest cause of the problem. Is that the reason? At the end of the day, it's these people that are actually the reason that a lot of what should be being done about these family vlogging channels isn't being done. As people are too busy defending them, saying they're doing fuck all wrong, when most of the time they are. It has to be said. And I don't care if people think that I'm being harsh or I'm being unnecessarily rude or whatever. You know, if you don't like what I say in my videos or what you hear in these videos, go elsewhere. Don't watch my videos. You know, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna not say what needs to be said. You know, because I fear offending people. You know, if people are offended by what I say, they don't have to watch my videos. You know, at the end of the day, this really just had to be said. You know, this point just really had to be made. You know, someone had to call Jonathan Jolie out for what he really is, a fucking idiot. So that's basically what that guy is, a fucking moron. And so is Anna. You know, they're a pair of vile evil, rotten lowlifes. The pair of them. You know, there's nothing good to say about anyone who chooses to exploit their kids or use their kids as content so they can make money. And the fact that they have been doing that and they are choosing to do that and have been doing that for years is sad. Those kids deserve privacy, they deserve a normal life, but they'll never get that, will they? Because all their parents care about is making money. And yeah, his might seem happy in the videos, but I bet deep down, they wish they could have a break from the cameras. And I bet they do. I bet they wish they didn't have to, put up with their parents exploiting them every day. Just as things if things seem perfectly fine on camera, doesn't mean that things are also running good, because things behind the scenes just be a whole lot worse. That has to be said. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I thought I would give my thoughts on that. I'll see you for another video soon. Bye bye.